Where do I start? Holy shit! I am fresh out of the theater. I'm back home, back on Arkham Knight to use as a backdrop, whatever you want to call it, a background for me just talking and discussing the movie. But holy shit! The Batman was phenomenal. And not only as just a normal movie, not just as a film overall, but as a Batman movie, it was phenomenal. It was fucking perfect. Everything about this movie is amazing, especially as a Batman movie. This is all I could think about for a while, and it's going to be all I can think about for another while. I'll probably film for a while, but this is going to be a spoiler-free review. Spoiler-free, no spoilers. I'm not going to talk about anything in detail. I'm just going to give my overall opinion on it, if anyone's interested. If you watch other videos, you'll probably be watching this one, so welcome back to this game and me talking about the Batman film. That was my instant reaction to the film, but I've settled down a bit, so instead of, talking at the speed of light and mumbling and talking over myself over and over and repeating myself, I decided to sit down and think about it, and here I am actually talking about it and giving myself an actual review for the video. I'll try to make this video short, but I can't really make any promises. I won't see the length of the video until it's finished and uploaded, same as everyone else. But anyways, whatever, let's talk about the film. This might just be my favorite Batman film we've seen on the big screen for many, many reasons, but let's get this across first. This piece of art that director Matt Reeves and the cast have made is not the superhero movie we're all used to. It's not the flashy and kid-friendly film that we're all used to seeing in theaters. It's a dark and cold murder mystery that maintains a looming noir thriller kind of feel, and definitely like a psychological drama aspect. All while maintaining that, what it is. It really holds Batman mythos and Gotham close to the heart. It represents each character and the city in the best way possible. It has all the core elements that you want to see from the comics and what we know and love about the Caped Crusader. It really shows the core characters and true character and nature of what is Gotham. We've been in good hands since the start of this project, and I've never once doubted Matt Reeves, and I proudly, wholeheartedly say he delivered. If you're not aware, The Batman is a new movie that just recently came out, and it's where the Batman takes on this cryptic killer that we know as the Riddler, who is trying to unmask the truth, in his own words, which means he's basically trying to reveal this corruption and abuse of power to the public eye of Gotham. When Batman has to face this serial killer and investigate these murders, he meets some new and old familiar faces, as well as learning some history of his own self and the city. This all makes for a bone-chilling, phenomenal film that I think all Batman fans can agree on. This is the Batman. Like I've said already, to no surprise, this film is awesome. The movie is absolutely fantastic, and it is even better as a Batman film. It's like a dream come true, and truly feels like the Batman movie I've been waiting for, much like a lot of other fans and watchers of the movie. Everything about it, from the writing, the characters, and the performances, to the cinematography and soundtrack. This movie is a great movie overall. Even if not a Batman film, I think you'd still enjoy it. I recommend it heavily. But for all the Bat fans out there, it really does a phenomenal job. It captures the true essence of Batman and its mythos. It captures Gotham in the best way a live-action movie possibly can. The only one other films to really capture Gotham like this is Tim Burton and them films. But this also does a fantastic job. And it also has that grounded feel of it. I'm not a huge fan of when movies are very realistic, but this does it really well. I loved it, and it actually does keep the core elements of Batman and Gotham. I absolutely love the movie, and I'm no way, shape, or form saying anything bad about it. But you might not think it's perfect. Some things maybe could have been a little better, in my opinion, or like really small things that I think would have made it just even better. But even if it's not perfect, it's pretty damn close. I can't get too much into the story and plot of it all, but I will in spoilers talk. But it is truly amazing. It makes for a very good story, and the movie really does feel like a graphic novel or comic book come to life on the big screen. This is what a lot of people have been waiting for, and we finally have it, including me. The cinematography in this film is not only beautiful, but it really is some of the best in cinema that I've seen. Like, everything is just gorgeous, and it keeps the gothic atmosphere of Gotham, all while doing it. It's very artsy, which is a great thing. The movie has the darkest tone a Batman film could probably had compared to other films. It is the darkest film a Batman film has had. It worked very well in this film, and I won't be surprised if it gets even darker down the road with the future installments and everything else Matt Reeves does with this Batverse that he's creating. It's gritty and it's haunting, which works perfectly for how they wanted to make this film, and it certainly paid off. The music, though, also is very haunting. Michael Giacchino absolutely kills it with the music. We all know there's some kind of Mount Rushmore with like music composers, and if you couldn't tell already, he nails the coffin with this film and to earn his place in that. I listened to the themes even before the film came out, and when a film came up or when a song came up from the soundtrack, I was like, oh, I know that, because I listened to it already. It's like stuck in my mind. And this all maintains the dark and dramatic presence that it should have in the movie, and it really does feel like Batman. It doesn't feel like just like this beautiful work of art of in music that's for the movie. It feels like Batman music. It feels like Batman. It is Batman. And if you don't, it might not make sense, but to any real deep Batman fans, you probably get what I mean. I can't shed too much light on some certain stuff because of spoilers, but this is a review anyways and just my thoughts overall after saying it. Let's get into the characters. Batman in this film is the Batman. Pattinson fulfills his duty, and he's had some big shoes to fill from all the other past Batman actors that did great. But honestly, I think this one was the best. This is my favorite depiction of Batman on the big screen. He truly deserves the title of Dark Knight and World's Greatest Detective, and he has a hell of a performance. Pattinson truly understands the character, and not only understands, but he loves it at the same time, and it gives it his all, which was completely worth it, and it completely paid off. This is probably the best iteration that we've seen, like I said, at least in my opinion it is. He's really damn good at his role and playing this character. You can tell he cares for the character and the role itself very much. In this movie, he's mostly Batman, for maybe 85% of the movie. So when we're looking at Pattinson's portrayal of this character, there's a lot more to look at for Batman rather than Bruce Wayne. And like we already know, he's a recluse, and he's still dealing with this darkness that he does deal with. So we don't see much of the playboy facade persona that Bruce Wayne puts on. But in this film, it works perfectly without it. It doesn't need it. Watch the film and you'll probably understand where I'm coming from. But I am interested to see this Bruce Wayne develop in future installments. I enjoyed his performances as Batman and Bruce Wayne both thoroughly, though. You do see a good balance, though, between the two sides of the character going forwards. Like I said, Batman is he is Batman for around 2 years now, and he's grieving heavily and is going through all the darkness that we know Batman deals with. Pattinson really embraces this with the performance, and he shows us instead of telling us, which is a big plus. You can tell he has a long way to go, and not only in the healing process and grieving process, but as well as being Batman overall. He's still learning how to do things and how to better himself as Batman. Over the process of the film, he understands what the city needs him to be and what kind of guardian and what kind of Batman he actually needs to become, and not just some vengeful, scary vigilante. We can tell he's in deep pain and he's really going through it. Some scenes also have Batman, he doesn't even talk, he's just there, and you can really feel the emotional weight and darkness just from his eyes and just his presence. This Batman is dark and intense, and he's serious, but Pattinson still maintains the heart of the character, and he really maintains what makes Batman Batman. Whether you like the film or not, you have to admit this is Batman. This is the core character of Batman, and they really do nail it in the film. So Zoe Kravitz in this was great. I liked her character a lot. She is Selena Kyle, and she hasn't really been called Catwoman yet. She hasn't had the title yet, so I guess we'll just call her Kyle, or Selena Kyle for now. But you all know who I'm talking about. She does a damn good job. I think she has pretty good chemistry with Pattinson. I think it could have been done a little better, because sometimes it's it is, the chemistry is always there, even from their first, meeting. But, the romance of it all, and, the interest in each other, kind of does come out of nowhere at some points. Regarding that they just met. If he comes back up, and meets with Batman, which is probably going to happen, hopefully the chemistry is even there even more, and we get that bat and cat relationship that we know of. Like I said in the discussion video before, the director has come out and said himself that this isn't only a movie for Batman, but for all the other characters too. And that statement really does shine for Selina Kyle in this, because she's not some just badass female character or femme fatale or just some partner for Batman, but she's Selina Kyle in this. She does not feel 2D at all. She's actually a three-dimensional character, and there's a lot of emotional weight and background of her, and we get a good insight of her and like some good exploration for her character, which is great. And other things I can't talk because of obviously spoilers. Paul Dano in this film, like I said, the cryptic killer, we know as the Riddler in this film, and he does a phenomenal job. I was excited to see the Riddler in this, and I was blown away by it. I was blown away by the movie as a whole. I expected it to be good, and it was exactly that. It was better than my expectations. But I love seeing these like famous villains come out every now and then, because a lot of them have had some comedic and flashy takes on the characters, and then being brought up and having a serious threat, like being a serious threat and being an actual villain, really freshens up the character and gives the character the spotlight that the character deserves, which I'm a fan of. And yeah, Riddler hasn't been the Riddler hasn't been the most serious villain in Batman mythos and comics and other movies iterations. But in this, he is the darkest that we've probably seen, and it's perfect. It works. It couldn't work any better. The Riddler is a full-on serial killer in this, and is legitimately terrifying and creepy. Like something I can't say because spoilers, but my God. And you could feel his like looming presence over Gotham throughout. Dano does an excellent job playing this character, and it really sells that this character is unhinged. And it's scary because he fully understands what he's doing and his motives behind it all, and he believes in it to the maximum. And knowing that he is some deranged serial killer, seeing him without a mask might be even worse, because he is this deranged, insane serial killer, and he just looks like some normal guy. He looks like someone that you could be taking the subway with, someone that you could just see on the way to work or school in the morning. It just looks like any normal guy, but he's not, deep in his head. I'll get into more in a spoiler review, so I'll save it for that. Let's go from a villain to another villain, and we'll talk about Oswald Kalapak, aka the Penguin, played by Colin Farrell. And even though this has been said everywhere, I'm going to say it again, because it really is true. He's unrecognizable, and he really nails the character. No character in this movie is really underdeveloped. Even some of the characters that have the shortest screen times, they still do have a spotlight, and they do shine in their scenes. But Kalapak, this really does feel like Kalapak on his way to becoming the Kingpin we know him as. The Penguin is more of a derogatory term in this. Am I saying that right? I don't know. But it's like a more of a name to like call him that. He hasn't really fully accepted the title of Penguin just yet. Oh, but he really does nail it. He's a lot of comedic relief in this film, and the jokes actually do land. He actually is pretty funny. And bravo to Colin Farrell. I didn't expect the Penguin to be in much of the movie either, just like the character we're about to get into. But Penguin was solid in this. And the Batmobile chase, the Batmobile's awesome in this film. But the chase scene, the trailer, you thought the trailer does it justice? Go see the movie. You have to see the movie. It is even so much better. I do have a small thing that's in a spoiler review, but it's alright. Still made for a kick-ass scene. Now the character I'm about to get into now, that I said I didn't think had much screen time, or I didn't think it had a bigger role than it did. But John Turturro is Carmine Falcone, which is the crime lord of his own like family and crime syndicate. In this movie, it's really the character ripped out of the pages. It really is just the same character, exactly. Just like I said about all other characters, it really feels like the core character brought to life. They really did give us the crime lord that we know, that has just crime underworld in Gotham in his palm. There's a lot of things to say in this movie that are straight out of the comic that I would never have thought would make the big screen. including some stuff with Falcone. But I mean, we've actually seen clips of that, of what I'm talking about, the Long Halloween reference, and even others didn't make clips and trailers and such. Let's move on from one mustache fellow to another. Jeffrey Wright as Gordon did an excellent job. I'm really excited to see more of Gordon in this. He really shined, and in this relationship between Gordon and Batman is solid, and it's definitely there. It's probably one of the best character chemistries in the movie. They worked fantastically together, and they do it well. They actually do work together in this, like detective work and solving crimes, and getting to the root of it all, and they do it well. Jeffrey Wright and Pattinson have great chemistry as both of them understand the characters that they're playing, and it seems like that they're giving it their all, which is great. It certainly paid off. And lastly, for the characters, we have another character that really does shine through his performance, even though he doesn't have much screen time in the film, as I thought, as much as like many others thought he would. But he really does shine in the performance, and he's great as a character. His relationship with Batman is really the heart and soul of this film. Besides the relationship between Catwoman and Batman, this is the heart and soul of the deep root of it all in this film, and that is Andy Serkis's Alfred Pennyworth. It's a lot of depth and emotional value with this relationship, especially if you're a big Batman fan. You'll understand it all. And I think despite him not having too much screen time, like I said, he's a great Alfred, and I'm excited to see him in future installments. This film alone had amazing moments with the character, even though he didn't have much screen time. But I can't talk about some things yet because spoilers, things that happen in the film. But when you go see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Overall, The Batman is a phenomenal film by itself and is even better as a Batman film. You can really see how much care and love is put into this project, and the cast and the director really nailed it. They killed it. I really do truly recommend everyone, from moviegoers to really deep Batman fans, to go see this film, and I hope everyone takes this advice and does go see it for themselves. And to just sum it up, Matt Reeves captured Batman and his mythos and Gotham City perfectly, and I'm really excited to see future installments and what's to come from this universe. If you couldn't tell, I absolutely loved it. But that has been my review and thoughts about the movie. Thank you for watching, and peace out. I bid you all farewell.
Subscribe.